Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Thursday morning. It's 3:37 in the a.m. and it's April 2nd. You know, my opening video, my morning introduction video was about some of my health issues. You know, I always refer to myself as the runt of the litter. I'm the middle child. And, you know, I've had a history of health issues. You know, whatever it is, I'm going to catch it. So I just need to put that out there. And you can hear the frogginess. And today, because of Robert Kennedy Jr. And his madness, measles has become very, very prevalent. And, you know, I was years old when I had my MMR shot. And now that we have an outbreak and an epidemic, along with another strain of COVID, I have to go get an MMR booster for my employer. So that will be happening this afternoon. So yeah, I'm expecting another round of just overall malaise and But I didn't log on to tell you that. Logged on to share my thoughts on a couple of things. I'm just gonna get into this one thing that I saw on the Tickety Talk. And it was a question posed to the LGBTQ community. More specifically, the legit, the L portion of the LGBTQ community. And for those of you who are familiar with the LGBTQ, that's my way of saying LBGTQ. Yeah. Anywho, it's for the L portion. It was a question posed on the Tickety Talk. What do you find attractive? And the overwhelming answer had something to do with physical contact. I'll put that like that, or bumping uglies. Yeah. Man, I won't say I'm glad I'm past that stage. Now, I consider myself, get the profile, quite average. Yeah, you like the profile. Anywho, I consider myself quite average. You know, I don't live under a bridge. I'm not a troll. But, you know I'm not runway model. I'm average. You know, so the physical aspects do change over the years. And if we have that kind of thinking, because most of the people who were asked were in their late 30s, you're still a baby. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you think you're there. Going into, I think the oldest person that responded was in their late 40s going into 50s. Been there, done that. Done that dance to death. Now, as I've shared, I will be an official senior citizen this year. I can't say black don't crack. So, yeah, I'll be 65 this year. Saying all that to say, the answers, the responses to that question were so youth-filled, and my bad, y'all. You can take this with a grain of salt, or you can choose to respond. I will, please be respectful in your responses, though. The majority of the responses to the question were so delusional and youthful I had to stop and pause, and it's like, that does not make a relationship. My head is just screaming, that does not, there comes a time where the physical isn't the critical component. It's like, I was thinking, what do I find attractive? Yes, looks are what pull you. You need to say that. But I want that person to be, first and foremost, compassionate. Now, I have a ridiculously hard job. And there's some days I'm getting cussed out. There's some days I'm dealing with folks who have SI. You'll have to look that medical abbreviation up. The I stands for ideations, though. Or HI, because that has happened. Again, look it up, but I stands for ideations. And that happened not too long ago, the HI. Somebody made good on a threat. I'll put it like that. I deal with children as collateral damage. So when I get off work, the last thing I want to do is have a conversation about, keeping up with the Kardashians. I'll put it like that. Something trivial that doesn't matter. I am a big social justice advocate. I'm a spiritual person. So I know I come with a level of intensity, and I'm always spinning in my head about different topics, and I don't always express that because that's my burden to bear. But I do want a safe, comfortable place. And I do want somebody to recognize, hey, this is going on. Let me just be low key. Don't want you to walk on eggshells, but I want you to recognize you're in one of your moods. Let's talk about how we can make the situation better. Or let me give you about 50 feet until you decompress. And I appreciate that and respect that. Now, the other thing I love in an individual's intellect. Are you capable of carrying on a conversation without getting butt hurt if there's a point of disagreement? Because that also speaks of how you're going to communicate in said relationship. Now, the other thing, and this is really important to me, is I am a total goofball. I want to say, as my sister likes to say, quick-witted comeback. That's, I think, one of the talents that my family has. So I love a sense of humor. And I appreciate a sense of humor. See, the physical part is easy. Well, for some of us anyway. I've heard some stories, y'all. But what do you find attractive in a person? I know spirituality is the key component, and I'm not talking about just any spirituality. I'm God-centered, Christ-centered, and I would love that in an individual, because I've met people who give credence to nature, but not a supreme being that holds all that or created all that. And I'm more into God worship, supreme being, higher power acknowledgement as I am opposed to the creations of that. Hope that made sense. Yeah, what are you attracted to? Have you ever asked yourself that question?